Coming up on Unpeeled, The Talk is staying off air for another week.
Matt's season of The Bachelor comes to an end.
The Grammy Awards receive praise from critics.
And Oscar nominations have finally been announced. All that and more, Unpeeled starts right now.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. I'm Ella Mulligan.
And I'm Liam Crowley. Let's get right into our top story. The Talk is continuing their hiatus for a second week. CBS stopped taping the show to launch an internal investigation into a passionate on-air exchange between Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood. Their disagreement stems from Piers Morgan's reaction to Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah.
And Chris Harrison will not be hosting the upcoming season of The Bachelorette. Last week, ABC announced that former Bachelorette contestants Chasha Adams and Kayla Bristow will be co-hosting instead. Harrison is stepping away from the Bachelor franchise indefinitely after defending a former contestant's history of racist behavior.
And a former Nickelodeon star is opening up about her decision to leave acting. On her podcast last week, Jeanette McCurdy described how her roles on iCarly and Sam and Cat took a toll on her mental health. She called her acting career, quote, hellish, embarrassing, and unfulfilling.
iCarly is back in the mainstream after being added to Netflix. McCurdy says she finds it difficult to speak about her experiences because so many people tell her that she made their childhoods. However, McCurdy says she's found fulfillment in writing and directing. And from a former Nick star to a former Disney star, Selena Gomez has made a transition to Spanish-language music with her new EP, Revelación. Gomez says the 7-song project is a tribute to her Latina heritage and large fan base in Latin America.
And despite the EP's early success, Gomez has hinted at the possibility of retiring from music altogether in an interview for Vogue's April cover. She feels that she still isn't taken seriously in the music industry. Cardi B was quick to voice her opinion on Twitter, saying Gomez needs at least one more edgy era before she can leave music for good. Now, Ella, I think that let's start with the good stuff out of this story. It's great to see her branching out into new music. I love the new vibe we're getting. Her song with DJ Snake called Selfish Love was fantastic. And Baila Conmigo, I mean, I really like that one, much more upbeat. I dug the vibe, and I like that she's changing up her genre. Good stuff for Selena.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan of Spanish music, and to see her coming into this new role in this new era of hers, I was so happy to see her really embracing that Latina heritage because that is a big part of her. And I think just the album overall was amazing, but to hear that she's thinking about retiring actually made me really sad. Her discography for me is amazing, and I think she definitely should have one more era at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it might be time to get Grandma her own Netflix account. The streaming giant is testing a new feature that prevents sharing passwords. Some users noticed the feature earlier this month when they were met with a login screen that said, if you don't live with the owner of this account, you need your own account to keep watching.
To continue watching, users had to enter a verification code sent by either text or email. That makes this more of a nudge than a crackdown, but password sharers can ask the account owner for the code in the future. But experts are saying even a warning shot against piracy could change people's behavior. Ella, honestly, it makes sense from a business standpoint. I understand as a consumer, you might be a little, discouraged by this news, but Disney Plus is the hottest streaming service on the block right now, launching all their Marvel shows. Mandalorian was a great success, even last summer with Hamilton. Amazon Prime, Hulu, all these streaming services doing great numbers. Netflix, no longer the hot new guy on the block, so it makes sense. They want to ensure that all their subscribers are legitimate.
Yeah, definitely. Again, from a business standpoint, I get it. It makes sense. They want their money. They're putting out this content. They're going to need it. But at the same time, people are living in an age where you have to have 5 accounts to watch all the shows you want to. And so sharing those accounts makes sense for people. But I mean, I guess we'll be looking into not stealing codes from our friends, I guess.
Absolutely. And shifting into video games from streaming services, the Syracuse Rocket League team is on the brink of making the collegiate tournament for the first time in team history. Our esports beat reporter Lucas Vogel has the story.
In Collegiate Rocket League, the measuring stick goes a little like this. Can you beat smaller teams? Can you compete with the larger teams? And can you make CRL? Well, for Syracuse Rocket League, CRL was nothing short of a pipe dream.
I think the closest we ever got when I was competing was 7th. Yeah, it's really hard to get into that league.
We didn't really do particularly well. I think we were top 20-ish in our pool. I think at that time there were 2 teams that qualified from each pool, so we were kind of close, but like not really very close where we were actually going to make it.
With that being said, our freshman class, brimming with talent, has changed the culture here at Syracuse. This semester, the team's not only looking to make some noise in qualifiers, but rather to make it out of qualifiers and into CRL as a whole.
No, this is Patrick, aka Steven, who is the captain and a junior. He tells us that. He tells us that a lot. He's like, before you guys came, it wasn't like, we weren't nearly as competitive as we are now.
Gavon is definitely like the most experienced. Like, he has more experience with Rocket League than me. And then Mason was just like a kind of a higher level player than what we had. It was just like an upgrade in general, like all around.
This is something we've been working for a while now. And we definitely don't want to have to wait another semester to qualify.
After a heartbreaking loss to USF Gold in the semifinals last Sunday, Syracuse is looking for redemption and that last patented CRL spot come next Sunday. For Unpeeled, I'm Lucas Vogel, CitrusTV.
HBO is looking to diversify its streaming audience. The network is introducing a new platform to highlight Latinx culture through film and TV. Unpeeled industry reporter Yabon Su tells us what to expect from HBO's latest project.
Thank you, Ella. Now, streaming platforms are always looking for new ways to separate itself from the rest, whether it's through discounts or promotions. The objective remains the same: attract as many viewers as possible. Well, HBO Max is taking that goal and putting their own twist on it. The company will introduce HBO Max Palante, which will not only be a part of the streaming service, but will also be its own premium cable channel. HBO Max Palante is made for the fast-growing Latino audience and is committed to highlighting Latino voices through its programming. HBO wants to celebrate ambicultural movements that embraces being Latino. That includes more representations in its movies and shows. Along with the major social media takeover, though, the platform is partnering with She Se Puede, a female empowerment coalition. The partnership is geared towards getting some of the biggest Latina names to recite passages made to further the goals of HBO Max. Now, HBO Max Palante launches on March 25th with a virtual event including keynote speakers, panels, and musical performances. Liam and Ella, back to you.
And coming up on Unpeeled, Matt James's time as The Bachelor has come to an end. The details on the most dramatic season yet are next.
And find out which streaming service is looking to acquire exclusive rights to some NFL games. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Night shook Bachelor Nation as several key members of the season, including the Bachelor himself, spoke on Rachel's racist past. Here to tell us the status of their relationship is Unpeeled's lifestyle reporter, Anastasia Frazier.
The Bachelor on Monday night was truly like no other. Although starting out in a lighthearted tone, the back-to-back episodes laid a foundation for the real conversations that need to be had surrounding race. And the night was intense for all. The show began with Michelle meeting Matt's mom, Patty, and Matt's brother, John. Matt says Michelle is everything he wants in a wife, but also that Rachel brings out the best in him. In Rachel and Patty's conversation, both women tear up. Patty later relays to Matt the love is amazing. However, feelings can fade. John offers his support and urges Matt to take his time with deciding whether or not to propose. Matt leaves the conversation with doubt and sadness. Matt and Michelle spend an exciting day together, rappelling from a building. However, later, Matt confesses that he cannot move forward with Michelle. She receives no closure and is sent home. Matt then tells Chris Harrison that he needs more time and refuses to see Rachel for their date. Matt is terrified of rushing the proposal. He tells Rachel to meet him at the lake, and they profess their love for one another. Matt decided not to propose, but instead to date Rachel in the real world. The episode ends with Rachel and Matt riding off in a horse-drawn carriage. The mood quickly shifts in after the final rose, where the conversation focuses on Rachel's racially insensitive posts from 2018 and if the couple are still together. Emmanuel Acho, replacing Chris Harrison as the host, asked thoughtful questions and shared his own enlightening perspective as a black man. Matt expresses the pressure of being the first black bachelor and the scrutiny that comes with it. Matt felt like his presence on the show represented everything that was happening in the country and franchise with diversity and inclusion. It was over for him and Rachel after she spoke out. When he finally checked in on himself, Matt was understandably disappointed and upset. Rachel says after the initial shock of the breakup, she understood how deeply her actions hurt Matt. Matt realized he needed to take a step back and let Rachel put in the work to educate herself. Matt had few words for Rachel, however, the deafening silence sent a clear message. Ending on a lighter note, the episode revealed that both Michelle and Katie, who did indeed deserve better from the season, will be the upcoming Bachelorettes.
Yeah, thank you so much. We now switch over to Amazon, and we know that Amazon is a business juggernaut, but the company is not satisfied just yet. Amazon is in talks with the NFL to exclusively stream Thursday night football games. Here to break it all down, we welcome back industry reporter Yao Bonsu. Yao, pulling double duty tonight. Thank you so much for popping back on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Let's talk some sports. I got my green jacket, courtesy of our sports reporter, Chris Sachi. So thank you, Chris, for that. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about what Amazon wants out of this. Obviously, they want to get the Thursday night football games, but can you talk to me a little bit more about their desires?
We'll start with the big number, $1 billion. Amazon wants to pay the NFL $1 billion only for Thursday night games, and as we know, Thursday night games are not the whole season. You don't get all 17 games for those weeks, but Amazon still wants that pack of games regardless of what teams are playing, whether they're good or bad. They just want to get the NFL on their streaming platforms.
Absolutely. So what is Amazon looking to gain out of streaming these games, presumably once a week on Thursday nights?
Well, as you told me before the segment, you don't use cable anymore, right? You might use a legal site sometimes. We'll keep that off the record. Hulu, right? Hulu Prime, Amazon Prime. But Amazon, no streaming company has ever owned a full slate of NFL games, and that is exactly what Amazon is trying to do with the NFL.
Absolutely. So if this deal does start to up negotiations, when can we expect it to go through?
We can expect it in 2022. I think Amazon and the NFL want to take their time with this, but let's keep it straight. Fox right now owns the Thursday night game, so it's going to take some time for Amazon to secure the deal. But look, if you're the NFL and Amazon is paying you $1 billion, why not give them the worst games on the schedule? Obviously, we won't see the Patriots anymore after that, after their long haul in free agency, but we could see the Bears and Eagles. We could see the worst teams in the NFL on Thursday nights just to spite Amazon and finesse $1 billion out of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, Bonsu, thank you so much. We'll be sure to keep up with the story as it develops. And coming up, Oscar nominations have finally been announced. Find out which movie has the most nominations this year, and an NBA legend starts a program for underprivileged youth. That's coming up in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. So wet.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Oh, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. The Academy Awards are almost upon us, and with the show coming up in just over a month, our film reporter Caroline Plant is here with the nominees. Caroline?
The Oscar nominations are out and they have everyone talking. Mank leads the list of nominees, receiving 10 nominations. Some more notable include nominations for Best Picture, Actor, Director, and many more. On the note of picture, Sound of Metal, Minari, Promising Young Woman, The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, The Trial of the Chicago 7, and Nomadland were also nominated for this award, all of which, besides Promising Young Woman, received 6 other Academy Awards. Netflix as a whole came out with 35 nominations. Though Netflix always plays a huge role in the film industry, nowadays this massive amount of nominations is likely due to the pandemic closing theaters and the newfound reliance upon streaming services to deliver movies. Disney's also entering the Academy Awards with 15 nominations. Coming in right beneath Disney, Amazon Studios earned 12 nominations, and we're now welcoming Apple to the Oscars. Apple has now entered the discussion, receiving its first 2 nominations. On the topic of first, this year's Oscars is full of them. Judas and the Black Messiah is the first all-black producing team to be nominated for Best Picture. 70 women received a total of 76 nominations, which is the most women ever recognized for nominations. Specifically, 2 women were nominated for Best Director, including Chloe Zhao for Nomadland and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. In other news, 20 of the acting nominees, 9 nominations went to people of color. This is a step in the right direction for the Academy Awards, which has been known for being mostly white. Stephen Yeun is up for Best Actor for his role in Minari and is the first Asian American person to receive a nomination for Best Actor. Also, Riz Ahmed is the first Muslim person to be nominated for Best Actor. The 93rd Academy Awards will be held on April 25th, 2021. Be sure to watch and see if your favorites will leave with an Oscar.
Thanks, Caroline. NBA Hall of Fame legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is changing schools, but not their basketball programs. With his nonprofit, the Skyhook Foundation, the 6-time NBA champion has spent the last decade leading STEM programs in underfunded schools in regions of the United States. With us is reporter Jesse Cook to explain more about Jabbar's mission. So, Jesse, why are we talking about this now?
Well, look, as we all know, coronavirus has been messing up basically everything for basically everyone. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is just using his fame and fortune that he's amassed from his illustrious basketball career to help kids who are living in underserved communities. And these kids who, as I said, are already living in underserved communities, now they have to deal with being pushed out of in-person classes. So that just makes learning suffer on a whole new level for them. Now the Skyhook Foundation, Jabbar's organization, his nonprofit, now they've been tasked with this whole new mess of obstacles. So they're really just trying to help these kids through STEM, because STEM, for a lot of people living in poverty, has been a sort of a way out. So Jabbar, in this whole endeavor over this past more than a decade of working with these students, he's making sure that they put education first over almost all else.
Yeah. And so what are some of the obstacles that Jabbar has right now?
Well, the major obstacle, besides the coronavirus is accessibility. The Skyhook Camp, a major part of the Skyhook Foundation, has a waiting list of 6 years. Now, a lot of kids, most of them will probably graduate by that time. So that accessibility is a major problem that Jabbar has to really focus on going forward. I'm not sure how hands-on he will actually be with that planning, but it's something that the organization itself has to be more focused on to make sure that they can reach more kids and accomplish their goal.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Jesse. And coming up, a full recap of the Grammys. Find out who broke the all-time record for the most awards. Don't go anywhere.
Can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Welcome back to Unpeeled. As the most prestigious awards in music, the Grammys weren't going to let COVID-19 stop them from delivering this year. Packed with amazing performances and some reoccurring snubs, the Grammys continue to be a mixed bag in terms of reactions. Here to discuss what happened is our music reporter, Nick Gutierrez.
Thank you for having me, Liam. Although the 63rd edition of the Grammys was an enjoyable watch, some felt it left much to be desired in terms of artist representation. The night saw Beyonce win 4 awards, bringing her total to 28 and making her the most awarded female artist in Grammy history. Megan Thee Stallion triumphed 3 times as she took home awards for Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best New Artist. 2 of pop's biggest stars, Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift won awards. Taylor Swift won Folklore, while Lipa's Future Nostalgia won Pop Vocal Album of the Year. Elsewhere, Her's timely record, I Can't Breathe, won Song of the Year, while Nas won Best Rap Album category for his album King's Disease. The king of SoundCloud himself, Kareem, won 2 awards, Best Dance Recording for 10% with Kali Uchis, and Best Dance Electronic Album for 2019's Bubba. At last, the controversy. Despite Billie Eilish's hit, Everything I Wanted, winning Record of the Year was the award she didn't want. Eilish was both surprised and disappointed to win, given Megan Thee Stallion won both Best Rap Song and Best New Artist. The win draws comparisons to Macklemore's 2014 win over Kendrick Lamar and Adele's 2017 win over Beyonce. Like Macklemore and Adele before her, Eilish's speech centered around the artist who many thought was snubbed, Megan Thee Stallion.
Wow, what a detailed recap. Nick Gutierrez, thank you so much for being here. So I want to ask, what should music lovers take away from this giant night of events?
Well, the first thing, Liam, is that music lovers should focus on SoundCloud producers more. Thanks to Kareem. The SoundCloud producer has made remixes for over 10 years, yet he was nominated for Best New Artist with 2019's Bubba. Inspired by both Madlib and Jay Dilla, Kaytranada's sound focuses on his use of drums and sampling. So it'll be interesting to see if his win leads to other SoundCloud producers winning Grammys in the future. Takeaway number 2 is that Dua Lipa is the queen of pop. Despite Taylor Swift winning Record of the Year, Album of the Year, excuse me, Lipa's Future Nostalgia won Pop Vocal Album of the Year, and it is a love letter to nightlife in Britain, excuse me. And essentially, it has staying power because of Lipa's marketability and the lyrics and production.
Well, all night I was left foot, right foot levitating. She has some bangers in her discography, but I gotta ask about the controversies. You mentioned at the top that there were some snubs. Can you get into that a little bit?
Of course. So prior to the event, all the talk was surrounding The Weeknd and Justin Bieber to a certain extent, but we'll get on Bieber later. We'll focus on The Weeknd right now. The Toronto-based artist was snubbed despite the astounding success of his album After Hours. Days leading up to the event, both the album and hit song Heartless were certified double platinum, while other songs like Save Your Tears and In Your Eyes were certified platinum. In addition, the snub stings even more because of the fact that his hit record Blinding Lights is so close to being certified diamond. When it comes to Justin Bieber, in a statement released on Instagram prior to the Grammys in November, he voiced his dismay with the Recording Academy classifying Changes as a pop album. In the statement, Bieber said that the album was an R&B album. However, he also said that he was thankful for even being considered at all.
Absolutely. Well, he's got a new album coming out Friday. We'll see if he gets any nods in the future. And coming up after the break, we wrap you up with Unpeeled.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
That's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Liam Crowley.
And I'm Ella Mulligan. Be sure to follow us at CitrusTV on Twitter and on Instagram at CitrusTV Entertainment. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week with more entertainment news. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.